On this episode, Jason's fired.
But I don't even get paid.
It's my show, no, get out.
What?
It's the Ask Becki show, bitch. Let's see what Piper's got on special today.
This real estate stuff is not easy, so send me your questions and I will answer them. This is the Ask Jason show. Okay, I want to catch Becki doing something awkward and then I'm going to start so that you have to keep it in. Hello everybody, my name is Jason Piercey and this is episode 34 of the Ask... Well, that was the big one. Are you alright? Of the Ask Jason show.
Jason, damn it.
Are you okay?
I'm sorry.
I thought you were a professional.
I'm not. Okay, I'm like crying.
This is a very special day on the Ask Jason show because we have matching
Teacups?
That's true. Mine is
Cheers.
yellow and hers is blue. And I have a blue butterfly and she has the classic orange, black and white monarch.
Beautiful.
Is that true? Monarch?
I think so.
This one I'm pretty sure is just a dirty moth who was floating in blueberries. So this is Rebecca Peckham. Becki is a real life amazing YouTuber based out of Vancouver who is from St. John's, Newfoundland.
That's right.
Who started a home renovation blog like 6 years ago. That evolved into a DIY YouTube channel with an adventure and lifestyle playlist and some cool influencer marketing stuff, and her incredibly handsome, not husband, boyfriend, fiance, I don't know. You guys are such wild spirits.
Oh, thanks.
Like, it's just what it is, man, and we love each other.
Just chilling out.
That's basically
love
it.
each other
And life is amazing. She is here because in a former life, you were a real estate photographer.
I was.
So today, we're talking about why all the different realtors all have totally different types and styles and qualities of photography in all of their listings, and if it matters to you as a seller, what your realtor does with photography. I'm going to give the spectrum first of what all the different realtors do, and then I'm going to throw a couple of questions at you,
okay.
And I reserve the right to tell you that you're wrong if I think you're wrong, because it's not called the Ask Beck show.
It is now, bitch. Just kidding.
I apologize in advance for everything that comes out of this woman's face.
I have a swearing problem.
You will get, if you hire a realtor, depending on who your realtor is, everything from cell phone photos to the point and shoot camera that you got for Christmas when you were 18, to the first digital camera that put Polaroid into bankruptcy, all the way up to professional photographers like the great, lovely, talented, and recently rejuvenated, energized director Joe, who was in Idly just a little while ago, and everything in between all of those things. Does it matter what your photography of your home is? Does it make any difference in your marketing?
I think it does. As a home buyer, like when I was looking for houses and I saw like when I saw bad pictures. So
This is gonna be difficult, isn't it?
You're trying to look for the home, and if the photo is bad and you can't get a good idea of the house, then you kind of write it off.
Yeah.
Like, I would be more inclined to go look at a house if
Yeah.
the pictures are nice.
But could you create the argument that if I took it from the exact same angle with an expensive cell phone, that it would be just as good?
I think you have to have somebody who knows how to like expose the shot properly, properly line up the shot properly. You know what I mean? Like, make sure your lines are vertical, all that nice stuff.
So totally worth spending the money on a photographer.
I think so.
Or you could be a hobbyist who's really good at it, like as a realtor.
Absolutely.
Like Joe is also a realtor,
Yeah.
but he's also a dandy photographer. So he could take his own shots, or he could overcharge me for them.
Yeah.
Give us a few tips. Like what are the things like, just assuming that there are people out there who maybe want to take pictures of their own house because they want to give it a shot on the private market first, instead of hiring a realtor. Because let's face it, if you can make that work, you'll save thousands, possibly tens of thousands, depending on how much a house costs. I think you're probably not going to be successful because statistically you got like a 2% chance of winning that game. But if you do win that game, you hit the lottery. I am very happy for you for having made that decision. In the event that you want to try that first, what are some tips? How do you take your pictures?
Are you talking about like if you have a phone? Like, is this person like, oh, I got a phone.
Well, do you need a phone, or do you need to buy an expensive camera?
I think you can get, like, anybody can get a decent picture on their phone if you know what you're doing. But for like real estate, you're gonna want to have a wide enough lens so you can actually capture the feel of a room, right? So when I shoot a room, I shoot it at like 16 millimeters on a full frame. That's gonna be too technical for this, but I shoot it with a wide lens. I shoot it with a wide lens.
So instead of seeing like this much, I see like this much?
You see like this much.
Yeah, okay.
And so some people might complain, okay, you shot this with a wide lens, the house looks bigger than it actually is. So it's kind of that balance of making sure that it looks like a normal size.
And you don't get that like stupid curvy stuff up in the corner, so it looks like the walls are shaped like
so
this.
That's actually the biggest thing for me is the lines of the room should always be vertical.
Yes.
So if they're like pushed back or to the side or like this, like that's kind of like, to me, like,
And what
that's not
causes
good.
that?
It's just like the angle of your lens and if you're using a wide lens, you're going to get a bit of distortion. So if you're like angled up or angled down a little bit, your vertical lines are going to either look like that or look
so
like
if
they're
I'm
pushed for you.
like, let's just say this is a camera, and I'm standing up like this to take a picture. I'm gonna cover my face here now. And if I'm like looking down at the room versus up at the room or versus straight across or stuff like that, okay.
Yeah,
All
so
right,
you
I'm
should
with
try to like be straight across so that all the lines kind of look vertical, and then like kind of get back into like a corner so you can get the best perspective of the place and get a really good idea instead of like just shooting like here's the curtain, like shooting the back of the curtain. So now you can see here's the curtain, special delivery. Wait, special guest. You want to get a good idea of what the space looks like in the shot. So
what about light? Does like if I'm just like a hobbyist or I'm trying to do this for myself?
So that's the hardest thing because when you're shooting real estate, you're going to have like windows in the shot. For me, when I shoot my real estate photography, I shoot it on a tripod and I do 3 exposures. One for the highlights, one for the shadows, and one for the midtones. Blend them together and so you get kind of like a natural to your eye photo. But if you're shooting with your phone...
I probably can't do that.
Yeah, so if you're shooting with your phone, you're going to get like blown out windows.
What does blown out mean?
It means too bright. It's overexposed. So the purpose of the photo is to see the inside of the house. So if you're shooting, like try to tap on your phone screen so it's exposed for the inside of your house. So you can
like
see
it
what the
adjusts the
inside looks like.
focus and stuff to what you're pointing at.
Yeah, instead of like shooting and then having, you can see everything outside, but everything inside is too dark.
This is so interesting to me because I'm listening to this and I know how Joe shoots houses and I can see like the stuff that his face is doing when she's saying things. Like the 3 exposures thing and blending them. He was like, I think he's a little bit in love with Becki Peckham.
Well,
Just a little bit.
It's really funny because there's a million and one ways to shoot real estate.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like you can set up lights and do a handheld shot with flashes, or you could do 3 exposures, or you could just do 1 and like fudge it in Lightroom.
Yeah.
There's so many ways you can do it. That's just how I do it.
Now, this is sort of a biased question because you've been a home buyer and you've also been, and you will be a home buyer again or a home builder or something, and you've shot real estate photography for a living at points in your life, and you do a lot of video and a lot of other photography. From somebody who's going to hire a realtor, if you were selecting this guy versus this guy or this girl versus this guy or whatever the case is it a deal breaker?
For me, it is just because I'm a photographer and I also like have technical training in graphic design as well.
Yeah,
so
okay.
when I like pick any product, even if it's a realtor or even if it's like food, packaging or whatever, I'm always looking at the whole package.
Yeah, okay.
It's the imaging, it's the branding, it's the way things are presented, and then it's like the person as well behind it. You know, if I go to your website and your website is on point and your pictures look amazing, I'm probably going to choose that person over somebody who's like, oh yeah, these 2 people are good. This person's photos and image looks better, so I'm going to go with that person.
So as a sort of an extension of that, the way that I look at it is if you have 2 realtors, one who lists a lot of houses, who represents a lot of sellers, who is really good at photography and video, and so the route that I have been taking over the last 6 to 9 months with my business as a marketer for selling homes versus somebody who makes their living in real estate representing buyers, that person may be less experienced or less educated on the value of the marketing in helping you sell your home. It doesn't make them any worse at their job.
Right.
It's just we're talking about 2 completely different things.
Totally.
So that might be it. To sum this up, if you take pictures with your phone, Becki doesn't like you. Joe likes Becki. I like Joe. And mugs with butterflies.
Mugs with butterflies.
Do you have anything to say? Anything awkward?
Jazz hands. Jazz hands, butterfly hands. I'm doing this. That's not right.
Thank you for tuning in. Episode 34 in the books. The lovely and talented Becki Peckham. Cheers. Till next time. The Ask Jason Show exists so that you can get good real estate related information from a resource that you can trust. Now, speaking of resources you can trust, here's a couple I would trust to work with my mom. Because good enough for mom, I mean, good enough for you.
I hate everybody who takes pictures with their phone.
It's true.
It's not true. It's not true. It's not true. It's not true.
It's true. Stop.